Good evening, competitive crowd. It was a dark, cold night in October and the clocks were striking 13. Well, what time is that? That is exactly the time where it is a pleasure for me to welcome back a blast from the past. A voice from the gramophone. A poll from the ancient scroll. You can already hear him ruining my intro, laughing as always juvenilely in the background. But first and foremost of all, we have on production Samus. But again, don't need to listen only to my voice. It is a pleasure for me to introduce to you Jake back into the ranks of our casting team and on the cast. So, Shema, Jacques, or rather Jake, Jimash.
What's up, Dom? Thanks so much for the intro, and it's good to be back. Most of the people, I don't expect anyone to remember me, because I was way back when, but it's super cool and super awesome to be back on Essentials, and to be back for a game such as this one, which is going to be a sammakot versus Danish Tyrant regime. We're in season 48 of 6v6 on ETF2L, and man, do those teams share some history from previous season as well, Dom? I mean, I know you know more than I do, but I'm super happy to hear what is at stake today, what has been the history, and what are your predictions?
Brilliant to hear that you're maybe reversing the tables, putting me on the spot. No, I mean, apparently then you know more if you think that I do.
Do the job.
I mean, yeah, sure. Just quickly into double overtime, the squadrons are comprised for sammakot on Corey, SNH on the complementary scout classes, Sylphs and Black on soldier duty, Derpy Hoofs on demo and Seeds on the medic class, Danish Tyrant regime, they have AMS, Andy Dude. There is something we could mention, maybe we'll decide how the night goes, and Peter DC Smile on soldiers, Davy, Demoman, Cigar, that should be on the medic class. But you asked me what was on the stake here for those teams. We're into week 3, and I have a little voice left in me to present to you the storylines, but maybe don't want to monologue here too long. I want to say that what is at stake here is for Danish Tyrant regime to reach out of the bottom of the table that they are comfortably sitting in currently, and sammakot is in 3rd place after Panzer and Scatter. So you might say that could be quite clear cut before the fight even continues if you look at it just theoretically.
Yeah, just looking at the stats here and a bit of a history. Both teams in last season were in Div 1, and they both advanced to Premiership division this season. sammakot actually won last season, so they got the 1st place and 1st seed in the standings, whereas Danish Tyrant regime kind of being the runner-ups here, getting lucky a little bit, getting into the Premiership. And yeah, their history is a little bit more spotty. A lot of ties, a few losses here or there, so they couldn't quite clench a clean win so far, which probably is what they will try to do today. We'll see how that goes. As for sammakot, they do have a slightly better ranking, slightly better record there, with a bunch of wins to their name, especially last week when they won against Pepe's Pizza Party. They did lose against Skeda, who are currently in the top of the leaderboard, so it could be interesting. I think we're up for a bit of a mix-up, especially that we do see some kind of names that are not really on the roster. Could be some Mercs here, Andy Dude, for example. So we'll see if he manages to add to the team composition or maybe remove from it. We shall see. We don't really know all the details. That's private to the teams themselves. But all I know are the maps we're going to be playing today. So both teams decided on picking Sunshine, and then follow up with Snake Water. So 2 5 CP maps, quite classic when it comes to that. So I don't think we're going to see any upsets when it comes to maps. All going to be down to the personal skill.
Indeed, and shouldn't be a hyperbole to talk about it a little bit more hypothetically. I'm going to conclude our little very theoretical talk with just a few familiar notes here. We have only 2 weeks of this season to judge of, but you already pointed the fingers on what I also wanted to point out. sammakot lost against Skeda, who are on the 2nd place currently, and Danish Tyrant regime lost to Panzer, who are 1st. So this is sort of, in my mind, similarly, but the biggest difference, you already called it out, both teams played against Pepe's Pizza Party, which is a great name, but sammakot won 6-0 and Danish Tyrant regime lost 5-1. So this is the biggest difference. I feel like it. But once more, welcome into ETF2L's own 6v6 season 48 autumn 2024, week 3. first mid-fight goes the way, and Jake, it is yours on Sunshine.
So far, very quick rollout here by both soldiers. Peter duking it out with the blue team here. Of course, on the blue team, we're gonna be seeing Seeds. I need to like look it up exactly, but we have a bit of a scuffle here. No one really dying just yet. Everyone playing quite safe, trying to preserve the health as much as possible. Seeger is also like healing the team quite defensively, getting a few pot shots here on the side, but Black comes in with a huge rocket there, but does not take, no, does take down Seed, so Seed is down for the count. Seeger is going to have a huge advantage here. Blue team is here deciding to roll back to the second point without a medic, and basically most of the team is going to be quite difficult, but no, there's a whole wipe here on the red team. How did they manage to clean them up so quick? I think they just overextended a lot in this middle engagement.
Way too brutal to look at it. And the problem was, I was picturing in my head, how many times can they circle around this point? They had 1.5 clockwise rotations so far, but after then and afterwards, Seeds was the first one to fall, and no heals on the sammakot side meant that they were post shot a little bit farther back, but then they realized, okay, let's charge forward, and managed to wipe the enemy team. 3 very hard hitters down early on, and afterwards Sigurd falling, and that means we're leading into a second point fight as we speak. SNH quite low on HP, still down for the count, but it seems like both teams are really only peering at each other, and you have to keep in mind Seeds has this 30% advantage. Let's see if they're clinical.
Yeah, that's actually going to be quite crucial. I think he knows about it. He's a seasoned veteran medic. He's going to push in, still not popping, trying to miss this Uber charge as much as possible. Pushing in, finally the Uber charge comes out, trying to share it as much as possible. Chase down that medic here. Seeger hiding underneath, being protected quite well. They do lose 2 players here. DHB goes down as well as Smile, but they do manage to get that Uber charge off, and now they're trying to pick up a few kills here or there. Corey's in a bit of trouble, but Black comes back and then puts a few pot shots into the backline there, but Seeger is still alive. So is Seed, so they didn't quite manage to get much done, but they pushed in a few inches forward with Black trying to get a bit of a cap time, but now he's in a lot of trouble, and most of the team is backing away to the middle point. They do not have the resources or the manpower to actually keep this one up. Derpy is low on HP, gonna try to get a few more shots into the enemy team to get that damage in, but that's not gonna be enough, and that's full strength team on the middle point from DTR as they're capping this point. Gonna move on to the second.
Very late death from the demo man for for the Danish Tyrant regime, as they're still getting charged through. There's a heavy in forward spot. SNH only have on that heavy weapons guy, but gets found out for the moment. Nothing really happening with his projectiles from long range, but it was a very daunting prospect for the opposing team, seeing Antidote and Ems conglomerating up upon the enemy team, and that was a lot of meat shots going on early. And now we see this last push maybe with an Uber advantage. Never mind, the double soldier suicidal wave is going to not find enough damage onto Seeds.
Yeah, they try to really get Seeds out to pop, but you can't just get a veteran medic like this, and you can't catch him off guard. He still has that 100% full HP. They do have that heavy weapons guy on SNH. Corey is probably going to respawn as an engineer to kind of try to sandbag this position and hope for the best. And right now, a bit of a stalemate going on between those two teams. DTR is inching for a fight here and itching for it as well. Ampis is actually peeking quite hard and gets a lot of trouble back. Smile's gonna wall jump onto the demo man, hoping to get at least 1 kill, but dies for no reason. Nice air shot there, and Peter DC is gonna go down as well once again. DTR down 2 people, still have the 100% charge, but now it's looking quite dicey for them.
Oh no, they're getting charged, but Davey protects himself with a very able pipe launcher, and in mid-air, Black goes into the respawn queue even more further. He trails, but that only means that the flanks have so far tranquilized a little bit. We saw, though, DTR, we pointed them out, maybe being underdogs if you only look at the table, but now they're on the brink of pushing on this last. They have this game firmly in the grips for so long. Davey joining the fun and the fight, reconvening their players. There was Sylphs checking for some off classes, nothing really came of it, and SNH is on that Pyro duty, fully set up level 3 sentry gun. So let's see what they want to experiment upon to get a force, get some juicy pick.
Yeah, I mean, sammakot is quite comfortable sitting here and sandbagging. They have a lot of time to work with. They don't need to risk this point for no reason. Both medics still at 100%. That Corey Banana sentry gun is just in a very good position as well, protecting that side. The other two entrances to that last point kind of wide open here. Maybe they're trying to bait him out with that sentry gun protecting the medic, though. It's going to be quite difficult, and I can see that DTR is trying to get some damage done on the sentry, trying to delete it, but SNH is out there with the pyro, deflecting everything, actually getting deadly with that reflect. So now they're going to go inside. Silvis just looking in, seeing where the situation is, but there's a bunch of players on that second point already far back. They are not willing to risk this. DTR really like so desperate to get that point, but seeing the kind of defense that sammakot is putting up, it's going to be quite hard for them to actually do anything about it, and we're gonna hope that DTR or sammakot, either team, makes a mistake here, because I think that's going to push this stalemate into one side or the other.
Ems is still staying in the spawn and checking for some off class. It seems like it. I'm not really seeing him peeking out on the spy class. We saw SNH still being on spy and checking in the spawn areas. Ems now changes back to sniper, and you might have wondered why is SNH even checking. Only Davey went down, and surely, certainly, your demo doesn't off class, but it means if the demo spawns, or if any player for that matter spawns, you can hold open the shutter for any other player, and it was Ems switching to sniper.
Oh, gonna look for a pick here. I think they need to kind of break this stalemate one way or the other. Smile going quite deep in, but he's also very healthy at the moment. Black is going to go out, but nice headshot there onto Derpy Hooves. That means no more demo man for the defending team. That should signal a call to push this in. Maybe pop the overcharge, do something. Sees is holding quite aggressively near the point, making sure no one can sneak it in, because this point does cap really fast. But looks like Seed's gonna pop in first. Gonna try to chase up the enemy team, but Seeger is far back right now, kind of alone, getting chased by the soldier. Maybe we'll get a pump. Surfs it away, survives Bailey on 1 HP and gets that med pack, survives the drop as well. The gravity is not gonna kill him, and now they have 100% advantage here, Dom.
Almost gravity falls. There are only a few singular stickies to clear up on the angle, but it was so methodical. You saw Ems was completely free to peek on that high ground, and Antidude was trying to force a little bit of ice on that point, but we see a counter sniper wave. Never mind, Sigga going down to 50 HP only, but is enough to keep his own life. Sylphs gets cleaned up, a 5k onto Antidude. Afterwards, cleaning up Sylphs, 2 already down, a lot of cap time. Nobody can offer any protection anymore, Jay.
No, that I think losing that uber charge, like popping so early, was the kind of the breaking point that DTR needed to push into this point as well. I mean, Seeger also playing incredibly defensively, and amazing play from Medic. You know, you don't really see those very often, but when you do, they are so impressive. Getting 100% in, then using that to push in finally and getting the cap is definitely something to behold. So now 1 point up. I don't think sammakot is gonna rest easy on this one. They're not gonna be so happy to sandbag anymore. They're gonna have to make some moves, but we're back to the middle here.
I was truly very impressed by DTR, but I already lauded them maybe enough. So methodically played, and afterwards, obviously the game plan is clear. You have to force the enemy medic, but the execution was brilliant. We see now, again, this rotation. Sigga is on the blue team's choke as we speak. Sylphs is still in behind. Do they spot the danger, man? There's a lot of damage coming in. Davey cleans up Corey, but there are the rockets flying in, a barrage of rockets. Claims Sigga's life, Seeds perishes as well, and not a whole lot of players are left for this world after this fight.
Everyone is just very weak, and there goes a full team wipe here on the side of sammakot. Yeah, well, you gotta
smile for the camera.
Gotta, you know, smile for the camera. Exactly. Oh my God, are you a dad, Dom? You're freaking the dad jokes here are gonna kill me eventually. I mean, I've been dead for so long, it might kill me again.
In any case, we are back. We're happy that you're back from your hiatus, but the problem is there were a lot of other players to join in that hiatus. You see, this DTR is, I don't want to say on a roll, maybe that, you know, says a little bit too much too early, since there are still 21 minutes left, but they've been looking strong, man.
They definitely are looking quite strong, and Ampis is the one who's, you know, leading DTR, and he has picked on this map, which means that this is their strong map. They feel comfortable here, which is not really that surprising that they're gonna get that early point in. And it's all gonna be down to how the sammakot decide to respond to this. Right now, they're pushed all the way back to the second point. Bit of a skirmish there in the background. Peter DC is gonna cash the brunt of it. And now with 2 players down, Smile also going down a little earlier, means that here sammakot will be able to push out a little bit further. They do have 100%, but so does Seeger on the other team. So it's gonna be a bit of a stalemate once again. Both teams kind of afraid of losing any players, because that could spell a crucial moment for the other team to push in. So now we're gonna have a bit of a stalemate again, but at least this time around sammakot on the second point instead of the last one, bit of breathing room to work around.
Smile did spawn on the sniper, and it slows down the game a little bit, maybe to a crawl. He's positioned in the flower green or whatever sort of other homonym you want to call that area, but he's peeking right now a little bit uncontested early, but is ultimately bothered enough to make him back out. I like this perilous attempt there where DTR was trapped in their own flower area and then Derpyhoofs tried to trap them in. Did not really come to fruition, but in the end result it also didn't lose them out that much. Again, we are slowing down, not even from a counter to a trot, no, it's very peaceful.
It is quite peaceful. It's quite nice, actually. You can enjoy the weather. Smile's catching a few rockets to
you know
for
what
his
the
trouble,
weather is?
What is the weather?
Sunshine.
Oh my god. I hate it. I hate it so much. Wait, let's just get back to the game here. Smile tries to get a peek from the garden, from grass area here, green, however you want to call it now, but he catches a lot of bullets for his trouble. He was a little bit off position. He was looking for that lucky shot on the medic, but Seeds is now comfortable without that sniper blocking the sideline. That gives sammakot a little bit more courage to come in the middle. Both medics still on 100% though, and there's positioning advantages on the side of DTR. Another one down. It's Andy Dude this time. Silves claims the kill and they're pushing in. Looks like Seeger decides to pop the Uber charge. I mean, he has to. He gets pressure there in the background and they lost the middle before their trouble. I think they're playing a little bit too passively, and now they won't have an Uber charge coming in the next fight. They already lost Peter and they lost Smile as well. They might need to be looking at last point defense at this point.
Smile tried to give them this safe spot into pushing the midpoint by controlling the clock tower, but was ultimately killed. And the problem that I wanted to point out earlier, sammakot is, in my eyes, lacking ideas a little bit, trying to reconvalescence that point right now, since before it was only solo players bombing in, and at that point of skill level it will never really work. Also this time around it was a Sylph's solo play, but it managed to give them this advantage of still 40% Uber.
Yep, it's going to be quite crucial to trying to build really quick, but the Uber comes out of sammakot here. They're putting a lot of pills and stickies onto the point. Smile trying to deter that Demoman. Derpyhoofs is going to be alive. Seed's somehow still alive as well, but with only Demoman and the medic, they're not going to be able to do much with it. They had the advantage, but they lacked the follow-up, and now they've lost the demo as well. Seeds is just hauling back to spawn to try to reunite with someone. That's Corey. They are going to have a severe Uber disadvantage. They lost the second point. They might lose middle as well as a result of that exchange here. Not really good execution. They could have done it better, but this again, they only are down 1 point, so everything can still occur in this game here.
Ems is trying to protect his own soldier from being eradicated off the sky, and Smile does survive by the able help of Ems, and the team leader tries to take his squadron further forward into the sammakot's second point, as we are only eyeing at a 20% Uber advantage. Might probably not even be enough, since it slows down again. SNH and a Black are already in through the flower area, clean up Peter DSC, and Smile also probably going to lose that 1v1. Never mind, SNH really bit, well, shell shock there afterwards, but a lot of players just went down. I looked at the flower area, but they got mulched there. Jake, absolutely mulched by this Uber.
Yeah, that was an excellent execution by Seeds here, and yeah, so you're not really having anything in store for that. Just kind of down with his entire team. Now only Peter DC just respawned. They're gonna have to hold on to second. They got forward spawns though. That's really good for them. They will be able to hold this for a little while longer, but they do need to build out Uber charge much faster because Seeds has that 40% advantage here. They're pushing in through flowers here again. Trying to see if they can get some damage off onto Dedry and Seeger, but they are holding quite defensively behind the shutter, which means that the second point is now given away for free. And this time around, DTR is on their back foot, and they're going to have to defend last.
Let's see how good the sammakot conversion rate will be, since still 50% Uber advantage. They're trying to push from their own top right area, getting early on juggle onto Derpyhoofs, who now gets another rocket projectile straight flown into his face. A lot of damage numbers being very low on the sammakot side, but now they're charging onto this point. It's a lot of cap time, but not enough. Seeds surviving. Seeds holds out once more. I can only repeat your earlier comments, but it really is a testament to this medic's skill that he only and always survives these onslaughts. However, you can't sugarcoat it anymore, since that is a failed last push.
Yeah, exactly. And they had the advantage. They popped really early, and I think that was their downfall there, because They couldn't get the damage off, and then it was down to just pure DM and seeing who can kill who, and the defending team has that advantage over the attacking team that they have the walls, they can protect themselves, they don't have to overextend. But now Seeger comes out with the Uber Charge, coming out from the kitchen area onto the second point, trying to push the enemy team out, not getting any kills, but they do get that middle point, and they're possibly getting the second one as well. So that's a pretty damn good exchange. Seeds, however, gets that 100%. That's going to be quite crucial coming out of here. Could give sammakot quite a bit of breathing room to use and push onto second, get that reclaimed, and not lose another point. But if DTR survives, which they popped, and Seeds misses Corey, so that means no more Scout. He's kind of separated, needs to reunite with Derpy, and I think after that, almost getting back cap, SNH Black, basically no HP, but there is on that point, and he gets it, he sneaks one in.
The captain is going to make it 2-0 for the DTR faction, and I mean, it is not foul anymore, but Davey, clearly, I can't put it into better words, you just got visited by the backcap gang, and yes, they thoroughly did that earlier. By the way, I don't want to put any water into an otherwise savory wine, but Sylphs nuked, absolutely nuked the entirety of DTR, and that forced Seeger to pop in the passive situation. But afterwards, you called it, they sort of rotated around, especially on the high grounds, and then had two backcappers essentially, but went to another mid-fight. Black is dominated by Ems, and Smile has his own cafe area locked down a little bit from the high ground, and they're constantly, consecutively shooting players out, getting them weak. It's enough.
Yeah, it's definitely enough. I mean, the entire blue team, sammakot, are just pushing away. I mean, they don't have the reinforcements. Sylphs is still up in the front line trying to look for a medic kill, maybe someone else. No, I don't think they know about him. They probably hear him. No, they do know about him now. So he's going to be kind of a thorn in DTR side for a little while. It's going to be quite hard to catch him as well. And it's going to distract the red team from really doing any pushing. So I think this is a pretty decent strategy. He's coming in, but ooh, that beat shot to the face. That soldier has been deleted from existence, and that is going to equalize things a little bit for the other team as well. Peter DC coming down with the case of lead poisoning. He's quite aggressively here pushing in, but he's going to get pushed out. He holds onto the Uber Charge, still hasn't popped yet, and he was being brought down to really low HP. Seeger has that advantage. Dejvi once again comes in, but no, that pipe is gonna deny him completely.
Another lead poisoning, maybe, that leads them to this disadvantageous position, since Saturnism seems to be ubiquitous here. But we are, again, watching this Uber fight. No, never mind, Seeds holds on for so long and might not even pop in time. Yes, he does. SNH down quite low on HP, but it means they have such a much better chase. Seeger not long for this world, and still one Scout Straggler to deal with, but he is not enough. Also head dropped somewhere. Thanks for mentioning that, Antidude. But there's a soldier flying in from behind. They need to check their backlines and their flanks. Did that brilliantly executed hold on that Uber by Seeds, and then trusting into his pocket scout.
Absolutely. I think, like, holding for so long, I would have, me as a medic in that situation, I'd be like, well, I mean, might as well pop. They already popped early, but Seeds was holding on to that for ages, eternity, eons. Like, tectonical shifts happened faster than him popping this Uber Charge, but he managed to get it off. He managed to get a scout protected as well, and now he's alive and kicking. Corey, however, even with those heals, he's not going to be able to take another, like, just survive long enough to help his medic, and now Seeds needs to get out of the situation. They overextended, lost a few players here. 2 scouts down for the count, which means capping potential has been halved, and now they're going to lose middle in as a result. 12 minutes left on the map, Dom, and DTR still leading by 2 points here.
A little bit bizarre to me, honestly. We were lauding the sammakot side of living, especially Seeds, but after that, sorry, but abysmal play, walking in 3 of your players with no ulterior spam coming in, no ancillary pressure from any side through a choke area, and then getting obliterated, losing 3. I have to give or even laud them for that much, only pushes them back to the second point. That could have been an easy last, but Smile is high bombing, trying to force the ice onto him. Pack grabs a little bit of a health pack and survives for that much. Let's see where this next flank play will trail them to be after Peter DC was cleaned up.
And Peter DC got Peter DC'd by sammakot here. Now they're pushing in slightly through the choke. They who have the Uber Charge. Seeds is going to milk this as long as he possibly can, but Cedar is also no slouch, and he's going to hold on to his. Ampus is protecting him, so is Dejvi. They're kind of holding this out. peeking through the garden area as well as the choke. They're not really willing to make the first move. Neither team really has full strength yet. They're both 5v5, so I don't think they're really in a rush, but the time is ticking, and sammakot will start to have to make some moves sooner rather than later, because they are running out of time. DTR is gonna clinch this win if that situation persists. Once again, we're back to a stalemate, Dom.
Sammakot did pick this map. I mean, in your mind, every map should be yours, but the problem is also that should lay a little bit in your mind, and they have to create some opening, some sort of advantage. Obviously, with this new time rule, you can also just tick down 3.5 minutes, and then we'll start all over if not any point gets kept until then on a fresh mid-fight. But that is long in the future. Smile is on the spy. Does he peek out of spawn? I don't really see him on the field. Probably checking some cheeky shenanigans as we speak, since DTR, they're on such a comfortable position now. They can just honestly look at the enemy team, but Smile is out and spy, and he's in the enemy team's lobby.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna... they know he is a spy, and now it's kind of lost. I mean, he's gonna try to burn some time, maybe sneak a backup if the team manages, but they're gonna have to be forced to fight 5v6 this entire fight, unless Smile managed to pull off some crazy play. But with sammakot aware of the spy's existence now, I don't think it's going to actually happen. They're going to be turning around, having their head on a swivel 360 all the time, just to make sure not to get stabbed. Still a bit of a stalemate. Dejvi's putting quite a bit of damage onto Corey and Derpy. But Derpy is not really leaving them behind as well in terms of DPS, putting a lot of damage into Dejvi. Smile tried to go for a play here. I mean, I admire the courage. Doubt the execution, though.
Yeah, I mean, he really wanted to, as we see this glowing player exchange here, I just really wanted to see, he wanted to look at the location where he could decloak and has to walk the farthest from, so not genuine spy play, but we see this Uber exchange here. It is a 2-man against 1-man Uber trade on the side of DTR, and DTR are still battling, but now in flies the soldier. SNH is cleaned up. Ems is securing this fight for his team. Seeds again. Hurries and scurries out with his tail between his legs, but DTR, I don't want to repeat myself, but done a roll 2-0 up and already with a slight Uber advantage.
Yeah, they're doing great so far. I mean, it is what you said. It's not their pick, actually, this map. It was sammakot's, right? So that means that the team that has picked this map is not doing too great on it. I mean, the time is running out. 8 minutes left on the clock. And they're 2 points down and still kind of probably sweating a little bit over the last point. I mean, SNH now picking the heavy, but Uber's coming out. That's not going to help him out. The Sentry's level 2, so he may be able to provide some defense here, but Ampis is on the point. Now it's Seeger as well, jumping in. Smile and Peter DC trying to put as much DPS on the enemy team, but they're not going to be able to with that respawn point so close. Smile's on the point. Now the Uber comes out from Seeds, trying to protect Corey and the rest of his team, but there is still nobody on the point, and they managed to get the last one. Andy Dude, Ampis and Seeger are still alive. They're still poking the team on the point. They cannot leave this one. Stills and Corey managed to clean Ampis and Andy Dude up, and now Seeker's all by himself. He's not going to be able to survive much longer. Goes for the only logical choice, just to respawn with his team, and they managed to clean it up, but just barely.
Don't have to be that perceptible to see that there was a lot of damage mattering, and a lot of deathmatch really did shine in the time spent on those deathmatch maps. We saw a double scout against Soldier and a demo pair alongside it after the Ubers faded, but sammakot able to keep their own turf alive for that much, and it is very important to keep this game, since 7 minutes have already, well, not transpired into the existence. No, they are still on the bank to play for, but Smile is then only on the choke area, and this last push also a little bit fell apart by the fact that they weren't able to get their soldier into play on the side of DTR, and I feel like oh, there comes the pipe. Seeds is so low. Gets gunned down by the Tommy Slim from the forward spawn.
That is embarrassing. Silver's gonna try to get that cap though, but yeah, that heavy play.
He would have created that anyway, but the heavy can stick that to his little trophy belt there in the end. Yeah, Seeds dropping in some sort of unfortunate scenario. This is the usual medic bane, you know. All the fantastic plays you did probably didn't get clipped, but this gets clipped.
It's always the medic drops that get clipped. You know, you get featured one of those compilations one way or the other if you play a medic, if you think about it, you know? So now we're looking at the middle point getting capped by DTR once again. They're on the offensive here. Corey Banana is hanging on the top side here. Derpy's holding the shutter. But they're going to push back because they do not have the Ubercharge. Seeds needs to build quick if they want to defend against it. But Seeger is not wasting any time. They're going onto that first point. Even though the second has not yet been capped, they're pushing them all the way back to spawn. As Sylv's coming back from the rafters, coming onto the point as well, trying to protect this. But he's going to go down. Now Black is up for the challenge. He's going to stay in the ring as long as he can possibly can. Corey here coming in to support him. A lot of players have gone down for DTR. And even with that Ubercharge advantage and Ubercharge popped, it's just very clever play here by sammakot to kind of try to stay afloat in this game, and now they're going to be able to reclaim their second point.
Very strong play by Black, and even Sylphs, even though he did fall in at the advent of that fight, but Black earlier on that previous or penultimate push to last that we saw, he sort of just danced around in the air and didn't really find the damage. This time around he stood on the low ground but still fired so much damage forward and was not able to be cleaned up. Ems is on sniper.
Yeah, and he gets a kill on Seeds, and that is going to be no Ubercharge for the blue team here. sammakot gonna have to duke it out without a medic for a little while, and Ubercharge as well, which means Seeger 100%. They're gonna be able to just get on the middle, but it looks like sammakot are gonna try to delay them as long as possible. Make sure the medic reunites with the team, maybe hold on to second, but yeah, the time is still ticking. So one thing you cannot stop in Team Fortress 2 is the time, unfortunately, and the time is not in sammakot's favor. They need to figure out something to get those 2 points back, at least lead to a stalemate or a tie here on this map. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get some points in, but Black's going to get headshot by Apis. Apis still on that sniper, still hasn't switched and still being a threat.
Yeah, the problem is also, I mean, what is the hard counter to a sniper? Obviously a spy, but not in sixes, so the problem is what is the hard counter here to Ems? Literally nothing. He gets 3 quick frags in a succession, and especially the medic going down early enough. Corey is switching to that contrary sniper class to offer some fight. Never mind, he instantly switches back. I don't want to say that he fears, but you gotta give and look at the crit streak now used by Seeds. They felt like something needed to change since they need to create momentum.
Yeah, they need to get some, some good sticky, some good pipes from Derpy onto the sniper, onto the medic, just try to get him down. And right now they're gonna see if the shutter is safe enough. If the enemy team sees that the crit streak is coming out, but Seeds is caught off guard, and that crit streak is gonna go away. Ubercharge, full throttle, going to the last point, taking down the blue players. Great pipes from Derpy. He's getting a kill. He's gonna also manage to damage Smile a little bit. Now it's just up to 2 scouts to hold the ring. Being joined by Black. Oh no, DTR is too slow here. Seeger's gonna get jumped by Black here. Black is still fighting for the point. Corey and Banana and Black are still, but no, they're gonna go down. And finally, DTR managed to get themselves the 3rd point in this map and possibly sealing the deal. Only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on.
I liked how Ems also jumped on the fight. I completely forgot about them on that fight since I was only looking at the high ground, and you saw how well they were able to recombobulate their players on the high ground. I mean, hitting the medic early and then getting the beam out. And it was very easy, very methodical again. Afterwards, or even the problem is obviously you want to have a lot of glowing players or a lot of glowing stickies, but the only thing that glue there was the drop or even close to that on Seeds. So after losing crit streak, yeah, not a whole lot is going to change.
It all fell apart, and Seeds was caught off guard there. I think he was overextended, but now we're back to the middle fight. Smile coming quite deep onto Seeds, joined here by Peter DC. Seeds somehow still alive. He's still dodging and weaving. They managed to take down Dejvi. Seeds is still alive somehow. Sylva's in a lot of trouble here, duking it out with 2 players, and now Seeds all by himself. He's not going to be able to survive, and Peter DC is there to seal the deal and seal the Seeds in his casket. Now it's middle point gonna go the way of DTR once again, and with barely any time left, I think sammakot's gonna go for like maybe a consolation prize, maybe a couple more frags, but I don't think it's gonna be possible for them to actually reclaim anything from here. They're gonna sit quietly and comfortably on the second point, prevent DTR from getting anything more.
Don't have to be that prudent, and just have to rub your dreamy little eyes and see it's garbage time now. So we have officially entered garbage time. I also don't want to point out Seeds' impressive dodging. Black gets a headshot onto Davey. Peter, DC, and Antidude are deleted by Corey and Entourage. Derpy Hoofs afterwards gets revenge onto Ems. The only logical conclusion to that fight, but maybe even able to secure one more last cap for the sake of them. They have not been able to do it once these
No.
past 29 minutes, even though they had a lot of Uber advantages.
Yeah, it's very, very disheartening to be in this kind of position as well, Dom. I think because you've had a lot of good plays, you had good advantages, you were able to create those positions for yourself, the momentum, but it's just ultimately comes down to DM skill and just basically good positioning. And so far, I'm quite impressed by what DTR is showing in this map, in particular, with clever positioning, clever movement, clever repositioning should they get pushed out. They're not really overextending, they're not really trying to get too much. Seeds popping out the Uber charge, sort of forced there, but he's alive and healthy, and that Uber is gonna fizzle out before they're able to do anything significant. They do take down 3 players. They haven't gotten the second point yet. Corey's already on last, and he sees that sentry gun. They really are running out of time, and they're running out of, well, energy. Sylph's gonna go jump in, try to get themselves a little point, joined by Corey. They do get that 1 point though.
Yeah.
I think that really matters for, like,
no,
morale.
they don't. They don't.
They do not. Oh no! Oh,
I wanted to say it's bittersweet, but maybe it's even better now. Unequivocally, that's gonna sting.
That's gotta sting, yeah. That's so disheartening. I was like, oh, nice morale boost, and then, like, actually no, it's not.
It was
That
very
is
close.
pressing.
They would have had it if they had 1 second more, but eventually it's 3-0. It spells to DTR, and before we segue into logs that are not really interesting to me, I only quickly want to point out what I saw. That my game just crashed. Thank you. No, but something else. Those scouts on DTR, they were tearing through literally everybody. Corey on the other side, though, also an SNH, did a lot, but it seemed as if the rotations were mainly what decided the fate of this map, since on individual level, I was impressed by both teams' scouts and both teams' soldiers a lot. Maybe Seeds having a little bit more of a limelight given to him by us than maybe Cigar, and also didn't really augment the demo man, but it seemed to me it was not that much of a, well, difference on terms of individual skill level to warrant a 3-0 for DTR. It was more like the rotation just really worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very, very good observation here, because I also cannot really say I can definitely nominate an MVP from any of the teams. I mean, I can probably hint at Ampus. I mean, he has been really tearing through the enemy team. He has also quite consciously and soberly switched to a sniper when it was necessary. He switched off the sniper when it was no longer working. He got a couple of crucial picks that managed to put that game, in their favor. So just overall quite impressed by the amount of teamwork that has gone from DTR, but at the same time, sammakot also not playing a bad game at all. It just simply wasn't their map, it wasn't their time, it wasn't their day. And we still have Snakewater here to go through, so everything could change. There could still be a tie. Both teams could walk out with 3 points each. But at the same time, sammakot needs to kind of reclaim themselves. They had almost an amazing score when it comes to historical data from last season. This season they managed to get 1 win as well. So BDR still needs to get some points, get some wins, and I don't think they've won once yet in their history of existence. So getting a win against sammakot would be a very good morale boost for them.
Definitely, and only quickly, since we don't really want to bigger about and quibble over logs for too long, I want to humbly and just humbly pat our online shoulders here a little bit, since the logs are maybe shown on the screen, and you see what we pointed out earlier. Even the stat lines represent this equal individual play level. Corey goes 20 and 14, and I have to offer to you then Antidude, who goes 19 and 11, which is sort of equal in that sense, since SNH and Ems also go quite equal. Only SNH with a few more deaths. You see Peter DC maybe not performing to his maximum level, although you have to keep in mind he's a roamer. 6 and 18, quite rough. But what do I offer to you on the opposing team? Black, 9 and 16. So this is what I mean. It is so equal. Seeds has 6 deaths. Cigar has how many, Jake? 6 deaths. And Seeds has 2 drops. Okay, Cigar has 0 drops. But on face value, 80 frags go the way of DTR, 78 frags go the way of sammakot. Does that translate to 3-0 scoreline? I don't think so. Anyway, if you have 1 or 2 more storylines about logs, I don't want to, completely cue you out, but I don't have anything else to say.
I'm sleeping already, man. It's a very good job. You should like put me to sleep, man. Just like read some logs. Just pick a random one. I was like, okay. No, I'm joking, man. It's all good. I can absolutely agree with you that this game has been visually very equal, and it's just DTR that managed to cinch the win quite convincingly, actually. Like I said, sammakot wasn't playing a bad game at all. They were doing things just right. They had right positioning, they had good picks, they were playing quite smart. It's just that little bit extra coming out of DTR that game was what really made a difference there. And then they walked out with 3 points to their name. Now they're going to be looking at getting 3 more on CP Snakewater, an all classic here for 6s. We shall see how this one pans out. Considering what you just said, based on the logs as well, and what you saw, Dom, with how the roamers and the scouts are doing on each team, you know, Snakewater, quite a flank happy map. Who do you think is gonna come out on top in this one?
See how much our genius mind now. Our minds are conjoined. I wanted to point exactly that out. Since we have a lot of narrow chokes and hallways here, but I'm predicting a 2-1 for sammakot. Even still, we saw a 3-0 to DTR. But in my mind, yes, some flanks present themselves here open and viable for the backcap shenanigans as the countdown is going to come out. But maybe, just quick final thought, the Demoman will come a little bit more into relevance here, since there are a lot of narrowed down chokes and Snakewater is not that open to flying soldiers. We saw Smile always having these high bombs really great, forcing the eyes onto him, and Black not able to be reciprocate that play all that much. He basically came in the last holes. But Snakewater mid, it is SNH holding on his little shed area on the shed roof and watching the enemy team. Nothing or nobody has taken the upper high ground now. Sylph's only spamming a little bit from afar.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stalemate. I mean, we saw the same exact thing in the first game as well. Just teams not really willing to risk themselves. So you're getting a few shots for his trouble. Huge sky high. Peter DC coming in down, trying to bomb someone, joined by Smile, but they managed to get themselves wiped, and Edgevy as well. Putting a lot of pressure onto sammakot. Now sammakot's going to come out on top with this one. Seeger does stay alive with Vampus trailing him back all the way to, I think, last. They are not willing to risk this one, and seeing how fast Sylphus is, and so is Black, they are not really going to risk this one. They're still waiting for the respawn. Seeger does have the Ubercharge. They will be able to defend this, but how fast the enemy team is. Look, they haven't even capped second. They're already on knocking onto last point's door.
SNH is only going to get onto capping duty right now. Maybe they can even get some force. It seems a little bit more akin to what we saw out of DTR earlier. Now it is Ems switching to the sniper role again as a deja vu for all those players. Derpy Hoofs is someone who falls, trying to lock out the chokes, but in the actual essence of it, Ems is switching to Spy and again watching at any off classes, which means and signals to me that they're holding their last point. Again, also this double bomb, I like the impetus there on the side of Smile and Peter DC on that mid point. Really high bombs early could have definitely worked, but it was so easily telegraphed. We're able to clean those two soldiers up. Another scout fell, and then they were cramped up into their own lower choke area. And now SNH is switching to sniper.
And just gonna look for a kill here or there, just try to open up a sideline. I mean, even one kill on the enemy team means there is a time to push. I mean, both teams currently running with the full Uber charge, which means it's a bit of a stalemate once again, but SNH is just locking that sideline down. I think the enemy team has already realized that there's a sniper on the enemy team, and they're gonna try to avoid peeking as much as possible. SNH kind of trying to get a hard angle here, but Seeker is staying safe and sound. He's not gonna be spooked by this offensive behavior here from SNH. Quite aggressive. He's gonna, oh no, but there is a sniper coming out of Ampus as well, and he's shown what he can do. He's looking into Shutter, and the attacking team has it at a disadvantage. They do pick up SNH, and that's a sniper down for the attacking team, which means they might be able to push out of here. DTR still holding, still playing it safe though, Dom. Dejvi still, you know, hanging out with Ampus. They're looking those sidelines down, and you know, sammakot are not going to take the bait here, I think. They're just going to play it safe, wait for the reinforcements.
Only one taking a bait was Smile, showing his teeth, but ultimately getting clopped down in the lower depth area. And we saw the great vanishing crew of the defensive soldiers. A barrage of rockets took SNH life, but he's still not deterred, still stays on that sniper class with the Cozy Camper getting fully buffed as we speak. Sylphs and Derpy Hoofs trying to get some protective spam and clearing out the angles to allow SNH some sniper sideline. It's only Davey watching that, getting an early sticky diffused on him, but Ems is nowhere. Oh, never mind. Yes, now he's speaking.
He did. SNH does take a pot shot for his trouble, but he does stay alive, and both teams once again in a bit of a stalemate. Again, we're seeing exact same situation like in the first game. First point to Cap took quite a while. I think it was about 12 minutes before actually anything went down. Here, Smile, Silva, is quite aggressively on the flank. He's going to be caught off guard, but there's a really good pressure there by Derpy, taking down the entire nest. And now the engineer, Anti-Dude, is going to have to play the... Oh no, but Peter DC using the confusion and takes down the entire team. Wow, what a play.
I would always trade my teleporter exit and my teleporter entrance for a medic door. I'm not an engineer, man. I don't think you're an engineer, man, either. I don't know why that teleporter was there at all, but Seeds dropping that Uber was the crucial pick that went down. Peter snacking in behind their lines. As you said it, I'm unequivocally going to agree. Using that distraction, Smile still snuffing out, but the double sticky trap onto Davey, onto Ems. Two crucial players falling. Sigga has a full 100% in the bank, but who to use it on?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, the Seeger is still holding on the Uber charge, half HP, so they're gonna play a save, grab themselves a bad pack, but you know, they're not really pressed, but at the same time they're losing the Uber advantage they hard fought for. That drop on the medic was absolutely phenomenal, though. I mean, they did get quite a lot of work done. Silva's working in the background, trying to distract the team, and Derpy using that distraction. But at the same time, what did that cost them? That cost them the entire point. That cost them the Uber charge. That cost them the entire team. So maybe that trade wasn't as worth it. It was cleverly executed, but definitely not something that they should write Mom home about. But now, once again, they did allow Seeds to get himself another 100%, so both teams, the stalemate here, equalized. Both teams fully charged and fully HP'd, so gonna look for some play. Silv's once again jumping in, looking for a kill, but he's gonna be stopped dead in his tracks and dies on the tracks himself.
Not a single lick of damage going onto the opposing medic. Smile even still survives for that long, but is dealt with in the backlines. We saw earlier the scouts were patrolling upon the battlements, upon the high grounds, as you would if you were to not only expect a suicidal wave, but also to play it safe around your own team's positioning. And looking at the enemy team's choke where they were positioned, sammakot, that is, Black is into the cheese area, but not really finding anything. He only gets bolted by his medic, and it seems quite impending here, like impending doom for some teams. They're just watching each other long range, and I'm waiting for an initiator.
Yeah, basically they're looking for a kill. I mean, I see Smile trying to get some damage done on the flank. Silvus as well, jumping in. Every time he's undeterred. He does die, but he does create a lot of space. He does take out Davey. That's quite important. No more Smile either. Silvus coming in for the kill as well, together with Corey on the side. They do take down Ampes with the help of Derpy, and they're pushing in. They have the Uber charge. Seeker doesn't have anyone to really pop on. He has two guys with him. Maybe they'll be able to pop this off and delay it as long as possible. Second point has been capped. Corey is quite aggressively far forward, but he takes him. Each of the face goes down. Seeker finally pops the Uber charge, but Seeds still holding on to his, and that's a crucial play here. A lot of time has been put, and Seeds is gonna go all the way back. He's not really risking it. Lost 3 players in that engagement. They're not even gonna hold second. They're gonna try to play on that Uber advantage here, I think, and I'm not sure if it's the right call. Maybe you should have popped the Uber here. Seeker's gonna have a lot of time to build his, but maybe, just maybe, this strategy is gonna pay off.
The problem is it would have been a 3 versus 6 situation, but the spawns, the forward spawns, really favored them. Only missing 1 second, and there they go! Onto Seeds. Does he hold? He does hold. Smile is cleaned up. Derpy Hoof's under a 3k, but it really did rain in the enemy team. What I pointed out earlier, they were playing the long-term fight there from a long distance, and now Derpy Hoofs is going to get flung up into the sky, going to meet his maker almost, though, into the heaven area. Davey and Peter DC both down. 2 players at the advent of that fight falling, and it's a lot of cap time. There's only 1 soldier on that cap. Antidude's the last one left in the house. 1-0 to sammakot. They played that to a perfect extent, getting a force, then being really favored by their spawns. 1 second only, and those 3 players would have back spawned, and that would have completely thrown a wrench into their own plans. But it worked out, Jake.
Yeah, it definitely worked out. I mean, I'm gonna eat my own words. I would say hold the second point, maybe pop the Uber, get some kind of situation out of it, maybe kill the medic. But they played very defensively, and that paid off big time. Now they put themselves on the board. Very well executed, good pop on the Uber. I mean, Seeds is just completely locked in this game and the last game as well, just holding on to those Ubers as long as he possibly can. He's not panicking, even in the face of two soldiers jumping him right now. Smile and PwC going for the Seeds. Seeds taking a few rockets. He does go down finally, but this time to Davey himself, who had to come and step in and help out his team. Seeger does stay alive. They are going to back off and lose this point, but they win the Uber charge tug of war. And that will mean they will probably be able to push this one quite freely right now. They're pushing in already. Only 3 players. Getting a bunch of stickies onto them with Derpy. They don't have the medic with them here, sammakot. They're still putting a lot of damage on the mid-team. Seeger is low HP. He's gonna go down with 90% of the Uber charge. Great play by the soldier there. Oh my god.
That was so clutch. Ems only then has to look at his bloody Pel's body at the end of that. PwC is hiding in his own kitchen, but the problem was Antidude was in behind and probably called that and Comdet tried to pincer them, but Seeds spawned alongside with SNH, and SNH had a great 1v1 win there. Also Black has brilliant drums to see, but Peter is bombing in. No, Seeds does hold because he obviously doesn't even have Uber yet, but now sammakot in a leading position, still 30% advantage for their own sakes, hard building in the lobby area and getting their players up to full fitness for this impending Uber push.
Yeah, they're pushing immediately with the Uber charge off the gate. They don't want to risk those stickies. Sentry goes down immediately. They're putting some bodies on the point. And the rate is currently being contested, but there's just too many players, and it seems DTR is just way too slow off the spawn. They try to play defensively. They just didn't expect the entire force of sammakot coming on the point, getting it, leading them to a 2-0 result. Quite a lot of time left on this map though, so DTR is still not out of it yet, but part of me is hoping that maybe they'll break the tie and loss curse that they have upon themselves. They played really well the first map, but this time around sammakot, who's just like having that cohesion, that synergy, you know, they're not afraid to take risks, but they also are playing quite smart.
It really seems as if everything shifted 180 degree since they're not even holding all that steadfast anymore. No, sammakot is really weaponizing their movement. In the first 7 minutes nothing happened, and now Seeds is getting bombed though, but PwC again, Cult, Smile, demolished Antidude. Not long for this world, a lot of weak players still on that blue faction, but damage sometimes, even in sixes, is not enough if you don't have the players in vital positions to get the pivotal frags of it. And it seems, as I was saying, as if it's a complete mirror image. Now sammakot are 2-0 up and they want to trail into this last point.
Yeah, I mean, last point does get capped very fast, so they need to be quite careful about positioning, because that cost them last point as well. I mean, they didn't have the Uber charge, of course, but they did have the players to block the point. They just didn't have the bodies on the point itself. Now they're taking down Black, who was getting a little bit feisty there in the front line, trying to get some damage off. But now Dave is going to get himself a nice arrow, and Seeger is staying well put all the way back in spawn. Antidude is also building up a sentry, so that is going to come in quite helpful. Both teams at 100% at the moment, and both teams are going to go back to the stalemate kind of situation. Neither really willing to take the risk. We may be able to see something coming out of Sylves or Black, though. They are always trying to kind of see if they can create a situation that distracts the enemy teams. Worked out for them before.
A whole lot of off-class switches as well. We saw Ems on Sniper, then on Spy again, then on Sniper, obviously only checking, and Antidude as a new pickup, apparently, at least for this game, being put onto that very exciting duty of being engineer and just building his gun. Ems is on the low ground, getting buffed now. PwC on the high ground, battling it out on the Shudder area, making Sylves a Shudder at the advent of that fight, but afterwards going a little bit down in the damage number himself. Davey also down for the count in the damage or health numbers even, and they're all staying on the low ground around the dispenser. You can see it, but again, sammakot in theory don't really need to risk anything. SNH can just free peek.
Yeah, pretty much here. I mean, they don't have to risk anything. They are leading by 2 points, and they're already knocking on the last points door held by DTR, so they can kind of play it safe here. Smile is looking to maybe he can put some damage on the Derpy, but he's playing quite safe. A lot of stickies being put by both teams on the flank here at gate 2. So that's not really gonna do much. SNH on the flank as well. He is a sniper, but so is Ampus at the moment. So it's gonna be about a bit of a battle, bit of a toss-up. Which sniper gets the kill first, and that's gonna open up the sideline. Sylvs getting the sideline put on him by Ampus. Ampus gonna survive those rockets though. Your SNH peeking out, seeing if maybe he can get a kill there, but nope. There's a sentry in the middle. Very good position there by Andy Dude as well, holding that upper on the flank. And Ampus as well. That sniper rifle, they're just locking it down, parking the bus. You know, they're not moving anywhere, waiting for the enemy team to make the first mistake.
You alluded to it. Antidude didn't miss any engineering classes. Look at how well this is protected. There were numerous peaks from SNH, but not able to secure the final sideline onto Sigger, who is hiding in the level 3 dispenser in 2.5 minutes only. Will transpire. And then we have another mid-fight win if nothing changes. Sylvs is in though through his own left side lobby area, gets a bolt there, Quarrels and Quarrel by his helpful medic, but nothing really is found. Sentry gun now dealt with.
Yeah, that's quite important. I mean, Andy Dude can build it up. He has a lot of scraps, but Ampus gets Sylvas down, and that's quite important. Corey's also going to get down by the Smiles, and now they're pushing out. They have the player advantage. Seeds only has SNH and Black to help him out. SNH is now on low HP. That sniper is not going to be very helpful in this situation. Black Knights needs to escort Seeds back to safety, and there are a lot of hungry players here on the other team, but DTR played quite impressively, pushing out of that stalemate without losing the point. Quite good. They still have the Uber charge, but so does the other team. I mean, Seeds being escorted into safety here by Black. Quite important for sammakot in this situation. We're gonna see if something changes. I mean, Amp is still holding on to that sniper, whereas SNH, well, he's still on sniper as well. I mean, it's like we're gonna be trying to break some stalemates here with those sniper picks.
Every point is not free for any team at this stage of the game. It seems very abrasive, and even still they tried to push into a last point, but Ems got that beautifully little bit air headshot, and then afterwards 2 more players did a fall. Davy in pursuit of creating more space, but eventually fell victim to the enemy team's spam, and the scouts also coming in. SNH is now peeking through, and you know what he's calling? Where I know that they're not French, but they're in Saw, so come see, come Saw, I'll come in now, but they don't really find anything, no.
Ampus does find a headshot onto SNH though. That opens up that sideline. That's quite important. They're able to be a bit more confident in their pushes and, you know, not worry about a sniper taking their head off. So now Ampus is hard scoping into the lobby, but he's gonna go down. Not before he takes down Sylvs though. They exchange that kill. Even Sylvs was quite surprised at the what transpired just now. But that's 1 for 1, and now Ampus will be able to switch off the sniper class, maybe pick a scout once again, and go on the offensive. No, he picks spy. Gonna go for the sneaky stabby type.
I can tell you with that math, as Sylvs is a little bit confused. In TF2 physics, a projectile travels or has a slower velocity than that lead bullet, but this is what happens when you put like really high class players against each others. Amazing plays like that happen, but in the grand scheme of things, really, Jake, nothing has changed.
Nope.
There are like a lot of players coming in individually, but no one is going to make a move so far.
No, I think neither team really wants to make the first mistake and at the same time the first move. They both play very defensively. I mean, here comes Sylvs onto Seeger. He does get the force, and that's an excellent play. Just one soldier for the entire force and almost getting the medic down. That's a very impressive play by the soldier, and that means Seeds now has 100% advantage. They're going to be able to wait for Sylvs to respawn and push with confidence. I don't know what DTR is going to do in this situation. How did they not see the soldier come at such a high velocity from nowhere? There's a few soldiers being exchanged here, but oh, great headshot here onto Corey. Taking down and slowing down that offensive, you know, making the blue team wait even longer for the reinforcements. Seeger already on 50%. They are waiting too long here, sammakot. They need to push, and they push in immediately. Uber's coming out, and they're going to use it to push as far as they can, but Seeger's already gone. He's nowhere to be
seen.
The
headshot again! Ems, do you ever want to switch sniper or off sniper? He seems to be trailing back to the spawn now and finally switching to scout. But it was sniper fest all along. Seeger now on that 100% Uber, sitting very comfortably. Nothing is going to touch him. No one is going to lay a single finger on that protected medic's health numbers. But again, we saw just Ems being so very pivotal and abrasive in the backlines, peeking through cheese. Davey was caught in the transitional area of that play, but it nets them this 90% advantage.
And that's gonna be quite important for them. They need to get some points on the board in this game. They're still down 2 points. They haven't managed to get a single one yet, but this might be it. They're coming in quite aggressively. Smile and Peter do take the front line here, take the advantage, and try to get the good positioning. Waiting for the other team to resupply, restock, and then possibly push. They have that advantage. They can't waste any more time. Seed is building quite fast. They know they're on a timer here. They need to get that uber charge in time, but Seeger, Ampus, they're quite slow. They're looking for a kill here. Smiles coming in, but he's gonna get gunned by Corey. And yeah, looks like Peter's gonna back away. That uber charge is not gonna come in at all after all, Dom, and I think it's a bit of a misplay. They could have used that.
I bet I can, well, take that game and just circumvent it or a little bit into 3 halves here. Well, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, into 3... no, I can't do math, but like in the first 8 minutes, nothing happened. Then in the next 4 minutes, what happened? 2-0 to sammakot. In the last 8 minutes, what happened? Nothing. So, yeah. And now we flip back to the last point, and they're in the lead and pole position here on DTR. Ems is still owning the enemy team. That sniper class, Peter DC, trailing onto that blue crate on his own lobby area, and they're pushing through a little bit. Their seats caught out on the low ground. Did not expect this very aggressive out of a push. Black quite weak after this entire encounter went out. Ems with another headshot. That might be enough. That might be the momentum they needed all along. Antitude is on that point, and the damage numbers favored DTR. I hope you're clapping in the background, but I guess that warrants it.
Yeah, I'm just clapping. That was so well executed. I mean, both teams stalemate again. Both teams could have just parked the bus on the respective points and not really do anything. Just look for maybe a pick here or there, maybe sacrifice a soldier or scout, maybe get a pick with a sniper, but it would just be back to square one. And DTR pushing so aggressively, getting that sentry down, getting Seeds to pop his uber charge, and then basically rotating immediately. Like every single side of that point has been pushed from simultaneously, and I love that. It was so well executed, and even though both medics had those uber charges, ultimately DTR coming out on top, getting themselves 1 point. Sylv's now quite aggressively going on the medic, and he does get the kill there. Excellent play, and they do lose 2 players, but that's okay. They manage to survive. They keep their medic alive, and sammakot once again establishing dominance on the middle point.
What was Seeger playing there? Like Flappy Bird got absolutely nuked out of the sky, got a rocket square and fair shot into his face, and then almost was able to scurry out alive. But Smile with a very big high bomb early on seemed promising. But the problem is, again, sammakot were expecting it, were taking that initiative and charging back onto it, and now we're in the third. I looked up, it means third obviously if you divide it into 3 sections, so I know what I'm talking about, but Davey surely does not know what he's talking about or looking at when he just gets charged by a scout who easily tears him a new one, and this uber advantage push is going to come out. Corey already gets the point a little bit. Captain, a lot of cap time. They just have nothing in his response, and what worked out so great for DTR now flips again into the favor of sammakot, 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a quick turnaround. I mean, sammakot is not wasting any time to just push in and use the advantage they got in the middle point. I mean, that pick by Sylvs onto Seeger was just phenomenal, and that gave them a lot of momentum, which they carried all the way to last point and used on last point, with that really allowing DTR to get the respawns in time, and that was just so perfectly executed, surgical precision almost. But now we're back to the middle once again. 7.5 minutes left on the map. DTR are down 2 points. They're going to be looking at getting something done. Maybe this round, maybe the next, but Peter DC getting a lot of damage on himself and getting killed by a sticky here. Derby Hooves coming out on top. 1 player down for DTR. They're getting pushed back. Peter DC also going down, and that is not spelling a victory for DTR. Once again, they are forced to go out, but sammakot are not letting up. They're still chasing them down. They're still looking for that medic pick.
Oh, double scout into Derby's able to survive, and Seeger does not live for this long. No, he's still getting chased out. No. The final rocket, the final damage number is enough. Corey also dominates Peter, who had to sacrifice his own life to this creating space, duty on the midpoint, but it means though that his players are still down. Davey also conglomerated up in the wrong direction earlier. It means he's a late spawner. He's not able to put the stickies on that point. 4-1 in the favor of sammakot, and DTR, they looked so promising with that one last cap on the scoreboard, but now it is such a steep mountain again.
Yeah, and I believe we're at a match point right now for sammakot. You know, if they manage to just get that extra point in, then that means they win this map and they get themselves 3 points out of this engagement. You know,
You're
DTR.
correct. It's like you've never been gone.
It's like I casted this game before for like 7 or 8 years. But anyway, about 6 minutes left. DTR still not out of it yet. They're still going to be looking, but Davey going down immediately to a meat shot from SNH, and they're using that momentum. They're not stopping. They had that momentum 2 rounds ago, and they're carrying on into this round with the same exact speed and precision and pure aggression. Seeger once again going defensive. This time around, Seeds is just supporting his team on the front lines. Corbin and ourselves picking up kills left, right, and center. Smile and Andy dude are gonna fall down. Seeger's gonna get picked up as well. Corey Banana this time. They're pushing so hard, and they are getting those kills. Only Davey alive, which is the reason why he's alive is because he died so quickly in the first round here. Second point already capped. Only SNH and Seeds are alive, but they do have the Uber charge. They have the forward spawns. And be very difficult for DTR to hang on.
That could spell the premature conclusion of that map, since 5 minutes still left on the timer, but only one last cap to go for sammakot, who are racing into such a large Uber advantage situation. And I called out earlier, didn't really highlight the demo man showdowns, but Davey this time around doesn't have any fun anymore in this game. He is at the bottom score of his own team, and Derpyuf is doing quite well for himself, and the Sentry Gun is going to get turned into scrap and bolts. Still, Smile is trying to patrol in the top area, but Curry reads that very early, plays a little bit passive. Now SNH is in on the side, onto Davey once more. Singer in the backlines getting bombarded upon by all those soldiers. Empis has to do it all by himself, but the scouts are coming out on top. Andy Dude is on the point. He's running around. He's shooting. The faces apart. Seeds lives as always, but those scouts literally saved that last from being kept.
That's crazy play. That is crazy play here. I mean, those 2 scouts saving the day here. Both Andy Dude and Ampes managing to just cinch this victory somehow. Seeger going down there with almost 90, I think it was 100 almost %. And they're gonna come in again, picking up SNH and Black on the flank, losing Peter DC in the engagement. They're coming in. Seeger is very aggressive, coming out from the window, trying to secure this flank here. Corey Banana is pushing in quite aggressively, but Seeds is there to help him out. Corey is 1v4 right now, trying to take down Smile. He does get him with a finish, which means 1-for-1 trade. It's not so bad. They're gonna lose this middle point, I think. They have 100% Uber charge, but they're not willing to risk it just yet. Coming with the Uber charge, though, right away. Seeger low on HP, but gets his 100 just in time. And now they're gonna try to equalize the situation. Derpy is on the back line, still being quite annoying. Andy Dude having a bit of a trouble taking that demo down, but he does finish the job, and the middle point is gonna belong to DTR. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. I mean, could be garbage time right now, Dom. I don't know, but if they keep up this momentum and manage to get 3 more points.
Now we're into TCM Dream territory. Sylphs is leaping in from the sky heights, but not eventually going to get anyone. Empis has pistol ammunition unloaded on that opposing soldier class, and they have to be fast, not even able to build their own Uber up. I do think so, but Ems is going to crate on that last, and Derpyuf is going to get culled in the little shutter area. Got pincered. Seeger very low on HP, not really able to have enough fitness or enough heals dished out to push into that last point. And I think now you can call it. Now you can call it trash and garbage time. I don't want to say trash because it's a little bit of pejorative meaning, but Peter DC is getting clutched out of that cheese area, and finally Black is getting that little greeting rocket onto him. Now we see another Uber exchange.
Oh no, but here Seeger missing Davey. Davey was so low on HP, looking for that Uber charge to be popped on him, but Seeger didn't quite get him. Scout though doing quite a lot of work. Ampes is pushing in. They're going on the last point. They're getting protected by Sylphs and Corey, who do pick up that Scout. Ampes going down for the count, and now only Peter DC is alive on the DTR teams, coming in with a huge bomb on the Scout. Picks up the Corey with a nice little air shot in there, coming into the choke, looking for the medic. is gonna find his own death in there, and that second point is gonna belong to sammakot. Little time left on the clock, but Black's coming in quite aggressively. He's gonna try to catch someone off guard. He does catch Andy, dude. Gets himself a health back, jumping in once again aggressively. Smile's not gonna keep up with that for too long. Black does come out on top on this one. Barely any HP, but he's still a menace. And now Seeger, angry scout, trailing him. Appa is gonna try to get some kills, but no, he's once again gonna catch a rocket for his trouble. Now Seeger all by himself, surfing away. Only to his doom once again, Dom. Oh my god, it's just been a chaotic engagement here.
Definitely hectic. It was early. Eclectic it is right now, as Antidote is still cleared up in that forward spawn area. Smile still shooting some trouble up, but essentially not enough. That might be now this last point, and this very last point that they need for themselves here on the side of sammakot, as full 100% advantage this time. Not only this time around, no, they had it multiple times, numerous times. Davey not having a fun game at all, getting torn apart by those ferocious scouts. Sylph's really uncontested standing on the point. Corey and his familiar friends are conglomerating up upon it, surging forward, surging into that tie. It is a 5-1 if you look at it, and if you've only been tuning in now, well, what have you been doing for the past like 1 hour that we casted? It was a great game, and it also doesn't tell the whole story. It was very equal even here early on, even though that sammakot were racing into this lead. But it's a 3-3 tie. If you want to be optimistic, everybody is a winner. If you want to be pessimistic, you can say literally everybody just lost. But I gotta say, it was a great game. So we are the winners since we were watching it.
It was a really fun game to watch, honestly, and a fun game to be back on. I mean, like I said, no one cares about that, Dom, but it was a very fun game. I mean, both teams walking out with some points is a consolation prize. I mean, looking at the logs really quick, you know, things do look a little bit different here. sammakot definitely coming out on top in terms of like kills and damage done. And yeah, what you were saying is that Davey has had a pretty rough game, only 6 kills with 14 deaths, basically kind of a no-show, and that's gotta suck for him. I mean, he did not play bad on the first map at all whatsoever. It's just the second map he kind of ran out of steam and just could not keep up with the pressure coming out of the enemy team. Derpy basically doubling his kills and having 3 less deaths kind of speaks for itself. Basically almost double the damage as well for the other demo man, and that's like they are not that high up on the kill list either. So it's really spells out what has happened this game. I mean, up until like a midway point, it was very, very equal, and once sammakot got their energy, their momentum, they just kept going until they couldn't anymore, and that netted them 4 points, 3 in quick succession, 5th one being just a formality at that point. And yeah, like you said, man, like pessimists both lost, optimists both won, but realists, it's a tie.
It's a tie. It's beautiful. I don't want to beat a dead horse here for too long. I mean, damage per minute is quite telling, and Seeds has 1 drop here. I think if I add that to the 2 previous drops, that makes 3. I can at least do that calculation. Siga has 0 drops, so he didn't drop at all. We gave Seeds a little bit more of a limelight with only 3 deaths, but Siga here with 8 deaths, obviously more than a double of that. Did do quite well for himself, though, gave his team what it needed, at least in the previous map, not really be able to be reciprocated around that here. But you see those logs, you can read those logs yourself. You see the top 3 players are blue players, Sylphs, Corey and SNH in terms of frags, damage and deaths, because quite low on deaths. But that was it from us for so far, and I only can conclude it with a saying, thanks, Jake. I do care that you're back. I do think that there are a lot of other players that also do care and were joining us in on the fun. Samus was doing the production in the background. Always give a huge shout out and a lot of love to the production, because they are the heroes that do allow this even to happen, that you have something to watch on your home monitor in the evening. But we just saw sammakot tying it out to Danish Tyrant regime in week 3 of ETF2L 6v6 season 48. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.